Orange is the New Black Season 3 has been available on Netflix for over a month now, so there's no excuse for not being up to date. Let's take a look at the prison goss. I have to admit I found this season pretty slow and didn't really get excited about it until the halfway point. Perhaps it had something to do with waiting for Ruby Rose to appear, which I gotta say turned out to be a bit of an anticlimax. She just popped up out of nowhere. It was like, hey, I'm Ruby Rose, I'm here to sew underwear and be the spoke in the wheel of the angst-ridden Chapman-Piper romance. Did the work experience kid write her dialogue, or is she just really bad at acting?
Help! Burden of my genetic perfection, it's so heavy and so unfair.
It's hard to tell. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about some of the super cool moments from Season 3. The driving force behind this compelling prison drama has always been its cast. They've won countless individual and collective acting awards, including the Screen Actors Guild Ensemble win last year. This season, Piper Chapman takes a backseat, demoted to more of a supporting role, which is a great thing because with no Larry or best friend, there are fewer outside influences and more of a focus on the women inside, who can more than hold their own. Suzanne's erotic sci-fi novel was reason alone to check out the show. Surely there's a spin-off in the works. Smaller roles are fleshed out, which is great news for Crazy Eyes. She's got a new dandelion, Maureen. It's really heartening to see this relationship blossom, and we hope the love story continues next season. When it comes to character development, these writers are on point. The transformations of these characters' relationships and individual personalities are extreme. Take Pensatucky and Boo. A unique friendship develops as Boo and the audience learn about Pensatucky's past. We discover there's more to this girl than the Bible-hugging, dentally deficient dropkick we met in Season 1. Her upbringing and complex history with men helps us to understand the reasons behind her previous behaviour and her reaction to the prison guard's sexual advances. Boo becomes a confidant and an advisor, showing off her own soft and caring side in the process. Sadly, in prison, the more things change, the more they stay the same. One of the most emotional scenes of the season has to be when the pair are celebrating Pensatucky's removal from van driver duties, only to see the gorgeous young Maritza stepping in as her replacement, another potential victim for the creepy prison guard to exploit. My heart literally sank. One backstory that I was really surprised to see explored was Chang's, but I tell you what, I am so glad they addressed it. This one really resonated with me, not only because we bore witness to the horrible relationships she experienced in the past, but also because we received a free education in prison food preparation. In fact, food is such a huge theme throughout the series. It has the ability to reveal status, culture, and power differences. It literally transformed Cindy from this
I did not see no eggs up there. You see eggs?
to this.
If I asked Jesus, he'd forgive me, and that was that. And here y'all saying ain't no hell. Ain't sure about heaven.
Racial stereotypes are shattered in this season. It doesn't matter what colour you are, everyone is welcome in Norma's new church. For a chick who doesn't talk, she's sure got a lot of followers. One girl that didn't quite find acceptance in the group, or any group for that matter, was So-So. Her struggle for identity made for some pretty interesting viewing, and just when it seemed all was lost, Poussey came to her defence and welcomed So-So into her clique. The final scene in the river shows how far race relations have evolved throughout the series. Okay, so it was a pretty cheesy way to wrap up Season 3, but not every character enjoyed a happy ending. Take a look at Alex. We last saw her face to face with her former drug boss inside the prison with no way out. She looks like a goner, but stranger things have happened. Speaking of strange, what the hell happened to Bennett? He's just ditched the crib on the side of the road and driven off into the sunset? Talk about depressing. I kept thinking, oh, he'll come back and all will be fine, but he doesn't. We've already spoken about how weird Ruby Rose, aka Stella's role was in the series. Maybe we got too caught up in the hype. Funnily enough, she ain't the only Aussie at Litchfield. Morello, the Italian-American wedding-obsessed inmate, is played by Australian Yael Stone. And finally, she finds love. Cool fact, Stone auditioned for the role the day after her wedding, so it's safe to say she was in a very different space to her character, but we're so glad she didn't leave straight for a honeymoon. Still on the subject of prison love, there's more than a little sexual and romantic tension between Healy and Red, which is a nice touch given everything the doting chef has been through. This might sound weird to some, but I thought it was oddly funny seeing Pornstarch clean-shaven and crazily loved up. He doesn't feature for very long, but his scenes are worth the price of admission alone. As for Angie's fleeting taste at freedom following her accidental release, her emptiness and confusion reminded me of Brooks's character in The Shawshank Redemption. The lovable librarian is released from prison only to find his life empty and purposeless. Angie could have run far away, but instead sat helplessly at the bus stop. I love how Caputo dealt with the situation. What I didn't love was the whole Caputo Fig Bang Buddies angle. It was just plain disturbing and messed up. But after seeing Caputo's backstory, it's hard not to feel for the guy. His history of self-loathing is clear for all to see, and it makes for confronting viewing. Not quite as confronting as his beer can appendage, but confronting nonetheless. So overall, there were episodes I loved and episodes I was really disappointed by. As for season 4, which has been confirmed of course, a few questions remain. Will Bennett come back? What sort of role will the new prisoners play? What happened to Alex? I know we said earlier that she looks like a goner, but apparently she will be back for season 4. As for how long, we do not know. What did you think of the latest season? Would you like Bennett to return, or is it good riddance? Let us know via social media. We'll see you next time on The Briefcase.